The marathon was never the end goal. It was a means to an end, or a pre-training of sorts. A few years ago, I came up with the idea of running the entirety of Belgium, just like a line from side to side, probably inspired by GeoWizard's straight line missions. In my case, I wasn't really attempting to run a straight line per se, but I wanted to run the shortest route possible, or one of the shortest routes possible, from France, or from the border with France, all the way to the Netherlands. My original plan was to run about 70k all along the coastline, but the problem with that was that when I actually sat down to make the route in Strava, a lot of this was marked as unpaved or unknown basically, and I looked at the map closer and it's like, oh yeah, next to the ocean, sometimes even going into it, and I'm like, wait, how much beach running is this actually? How much of this is highways, because I'm not going to be able to find a path or something? It seemed a bit sketchy, and it seemed very hard to come up with a proper route all across the country basically. So instead of going for that, I decided to run this route instead, which passes through a bunch of cities and towns and whatnot, and I thought it would be much easier to be able to refuel along the way. So this video is going to be a training log of sorts, very similar to what I did with the marathon, just going week by week, detailing the progress as well as the actual final 80k ride. It is 7:30 a.m. and the birds are making a ruckus. We are about to embark on our first run of training to do an ultra marathon, and I'm in Mexico right now. I have to go super early. Well, I wouldn't call it super early, but earlier than usual, just because it gets so warm. I think it's going to be like 30 degrees, and right now it's just over 20, and I'm like, yeah, have to go right now, otherwise I'm going to be boiling afterwards. Anyway, yeah, 27k. Let's do this. And that's it for week one. That was absolutely brutal. It is so hard running in 30 plus centigrade weather. It's just absolutely insane, especially a long run like this. Didn't quite hit the mark, just did over 21k, and the goal was really 27k. Well, actually did 23k because 2k was recorded on my watch until it says, oh, no more GPS for you. So yeah, I had to turn it off and switch to the phone instead, right? So 23k in total. I can't mega complain because the goal was 27k. Yeah, it still is a bit annoying when you try to give it your everything and you just slow down so much by the intense heat and the radiation of the concrete, right? It's just, it really gets to you. Anyway, that was it for week one. Bring it on! Week two, Mexico, 31k. Let's do this. We made it. That was so much fun. It was difficult in some parts. I'm so glad that we went so early because otherwise it would have been virtually impossible. It was already about 26, 27 degrees towards the end of this, I think. I'm not absolutely sure, but you can feel it. You can really start to feel it towards the end. Yet it was a small accomplishment and I'm pretty happy about how that went down. I hope you enjoyed the little journey and I'll catch you next week. Week 3 in Mexico, 24K, May. Nah, man. 21K only. Missed it by 3 actually. Yet, considering the heat, I think it was a win. What a day! What a week! Let's do this! Today we are in Oudenaarde and we're going to be doing a 35k all the way to Ghent. Yeah, the main reason is there is strong wind from the south to the north, and yeah, instead of battling against the wind, because the original plan was to go to Wargem towards Kortrijk, and instead of battling the wind all the way, it makes a lot more sense just to go due north, right? So that's why we are in Oudenaarde, and it should be a fun run. And to spice it up, to make it a bit different from the last short that I published, we're going to be taking the full route this time alongside the river instead of going through a few towns that we went through last time. I think it was about a 32k last time and it should be around 35k this time, so hopefully it will be interesting enough. Anyway, let's do this. I didn't film an outro for this day of training because by the end I was pretty exhausted and my GoPro battery had died, so I would have had to film it on the phone, and my phone battery was also starting to die. So yeah, I feel like it was a pretty good run. I actually did manage to complete it, which I feel like it is assisted by the fact that when you're running from point A to point B, well, you kind of have to make it to point B. There is no excuses, right? You have to make it to the end to be home, right? So yeah, that is a major boost in motivation on longer runs like this. The day didn't help, it was very grey, but we pushed through it, and all the fun sights and the animals and the river and whatnot along the way really helped boost morale a bit. So after finishing this run, it finally started to dawn on me that this whole endeavor might be possible after all. We just have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Today we're going to be running all the way to Brugge from Ghent, and this is going to be exciting. It's about a 50k, and yeah, first ultra. I've never done this before. Yeah, hopefully it's not going to be too intense. It is pretty early, and yeah, we have to beat the heat basically. So let's see how it goes.
Belgium is so cool, but it's too warm. Snack time. I don't know, should I? No bad. Alright, let's carry on.
How are you feeling?
Okay.
You run a marathon.
Tired. That's Bruce. My feet are dead, completely dead, but we're nearly there. Just 500 meters or so. I'm not going to be doing a proper video recording today, but we're out here in the north of Ghent in the docks
8
area.
kilometers.
Shut up, Strava.
Time.
It is absolutely beautiful out here. Just look at this. It is a bit of a smaller run this time. It's 22.5k, being it the last run before the main race next, well, not race, right, but the ultra next weekend. So yeah, I thought I would just come to the north of Ghent near the docks area, try to explore a bit, and it's really cool. It is so awesome here. There's a lot of industry and whatnot as well. It's so desolate. Anyway, I can barely speak. That's it for this update. We are at the border of France and Belgium, where Mennen and Halluin collide, and this place is called the Oude Sluizen van Mennen, which is the old locks of Mennen. And we're gonna start our journey from here. I am freaking out. You have no idea, because I don't know. Last time I did a marathon, it felt like, okay, I've already done this, and your mind processes it like that, and you have a bit of nerves, but it's the good nerves, it's the race nerves, it's the, oh, let's get this done, this is gonna be fun, this is gonna be mental, it's gonna be challenging, but this is gonna be possible. Yet now we're doing something that I've never done before. And I don't know what to expect. I have no idea if I'm gonna even be able to complete this, but this is why we're here, to actually figure it out, to get on the road, to get moving, and to see if it is possible with this amount of training, right? And I'm excited, nervous, but excited. Let's get this done. Nice to cool down as well. Did I just forget to record anything about the food? I think so, right? What food? Yeah, there was no food. There was no food like that. We're gonna carry on now towards Olsene, then Machelen, then Deense, and I think towards Nevele or something like that, further north. So let's carry on. Look at the lion. So peaceful out here. We're coming into Dense now. Probably should hit the 42k mark. Dense is just one of those places where I've been to before in city to city runs. Yeah, I've never actually seen how beautiful it is because I'll just get to the train station and then bam, gone, right? And if you only see a tiny bit of the place, right? If you only see a few streets going in, especially if it's on a grey day, you mischaracterize it. You just think, oh, it's just a bleak little city or whatever. But no, it's quite nice. Finally found my pace. Finally found the energy. We are in Nevele, where there seems to be a party or something going on. We reached the end of closing just like that. It's funny how towns just go by in a blink of an eye. Big cloud maker! I mean, this is truly the definition of peace, isn't it? Absolutely worth every single moment of pain and agony.
Mom, can we have windmill? No, we have windmill at home. Windmill at home.
Amazing life. We did it. We did it. This is the border. The border with the Netherlands. Wow. It's so dark. This is it. That's the Netherlands over there. Welcome everyone to the Netherlands! Woo! Sorry, I should probably be quiet, it's quite late.
It smells like shit on this.
That was insane. Good job.
It's been a couple of weeks since I ran the 80k and I feel like it just kind of took me some time to get myself together to record this video. I was just so broken at the end that I literally cried a bit when I pressed the stop button on Strava on that bridge in Zelzate. It is by far the hardest thing I've ever done and it really makes me wonder, how do ultramarathoners do it? How do they keep going? How do their bodies not break down after hundreds of kilometers? It's just mental. I was in such pain for days afterwards that it kind of just makes me think, are some people just superhuman? That said, I couldn't be more satisfied. It was such a rough start. Those first 35 kilometers approximately, just so slow, just going down and down in pace, really feeling the slog of it, just this mental fog, right? And then somewhere around the halfway point, putting the music in and then going like, bam, locked in, focus, let's get moving, feeling that energy come to you and powering through it. And then suddenly I picked up the pace and I felt so good about this thing. I think it's also due to the fact that you realize, wow, this might be possible. 42k, let's push, let's go further, right? And then we hit those final 10 kilometers of absolute hell where your body is just like breaking down and you feel pain renewed all over you, just taking over, and you're like, I can't do this. But part of you is like, push on, get to the finish, let's do this. There's no time for this. And man, the sunset. That sunset made up for everything. It's kind of like one of those things that you know is just gonna stay with you forever. So if the question is, was it worth it? Definitely. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was useful to you, and if you're considering doing this in the future, at least it would give you an idea of the steps of what it feels like as an amateur runner, going through the training process and then actually doing the big run. Whether it's an 80k, a 50k, a 100k, a 200k, all of these, it's mostly, as they say, a mind game, but also you need a lot of preparation to make sure that the body works well. And I feel like one area where I under-prepared a bit is probably the nutrition and the cardiovascular side of things, doing more hill reps, stuff like that, right? There's a lot of ways of training, and I just kind of grabbed a Strava setup from someone else and said, let's just run these days, let's just run the same distances, let's just go for it. But I feel like if you want to do really well, you need to pay attention to the other things as well. Anyway, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.